When hybrids first arrived, everybody warned us. The battery will die, the repair will bankrupt you, and the whole thing is too risky. 2 decades later, these cheap used hybrids are still rolling past 250,000 miles, saving owners thousands in gas. The doubters were wrong, and number 1 proves it best. The hybrid myth we need to kill is simple. People feared one giant battery bill, dealer-only repairs, and a car that became deadweight after a few years. According to Toyota, newer hybrid batteries are backed by 10 years, or 150,000 miles. And according to Car and Driver, hybrid batteries often last deep into 6-figure mileage, but should be tested before purchase. Here is why that matters. Battery fear is not fake, but it is often priced wrong. A bad pack can cost real money, but the best hybrid systems reduce brake wear, reduce engine strain, and avoid normal automatic shifting wear. For buyers, that means the right hybrid can be cheaper over the years, not riskier, because fuel, brakes, and engine stress all affect total cost. We are counting down 10 used hybrids with real high-mile proof, real fuel savings, and clear inspection warnings. The goal is not to pretend every battery lasts forever. The goal is to show which hybrids still make financial sense after the scan tool, test drive, and repair math agree. If this kind of straight hybrid talk saves you money, subscribe. We are building this channel for buyers who want facts before fear. Number 10. Honda Civic Hybrid. The main red flag is the battery system, but the hidden value is the price. A 2006 through 2011 Civic Hybrid can look risky because Honda IMA battery complaints followed these cars for years. According to hybrid battery suppliers and repair market pricing, remanufactured Honda packs can often land around $1,500 to $3,000, depending on warranty and installation. Here is why it matters. A $4,000 Civic Hybrid with a weak pack is not really a $4,000 car. It is a repair decision. That is the line most cheap car shoppers miss, because they see the low sticker before they price the battery. For buyers, that means this car only makes sense when the price leaves room for battery work, the CVT behaves, and the service records prove someone cared. Current used prices usually run around $3,500 to $7,500, depending on rust, mileage, trim, and battery condition. The reason some still reach 250,000 miles is not magic. The gas engine is simple, the car is light, and the mild hybrid system does not ask the battery to move the car alone like a full hybrid. The fuel savings can still be strong, with real-world numbers often in the high 30s to mid-40s miles per gallon. When healthy, that can beat older V6 sedans and small SUVs badly over years of commuting. Inspect the IM, a warning light, battery state of charge swings, CVT shutter, delayed engagement, oil use, air conditioning, rear rust, rocker panels, and service history. Drive it warm in traffic, not just around the block. If the battery gauge jumps like a nervous salesman, slow down. If the CVT shutters, walk away. Choose this one when you want the cheapest hybrid possible, and you are disciplined enough to test the battery before buying. A reset is not a repair, and a seller who says the light just came on is handing you the warning. Another thing I would check is the actual owner. These cars are often bought by people trying to spend almost nothing, and that means skipped fluid, cheap tires, and ignored warning lights are common. A clean, older owner car with boring receipts is worth more than a shiny one with no paper. I would also price the battery before buying, not after. Call a hybrid shop, ask what a pack costs in your area, and use that number in the deal. If the seller wants top money, the battery proof needs to be top level too. The Civic Hybrid is the cheap entry point, but number 9 gives more room, more comfort, and better non-Toyota proof for buyers who want fewer compromises. Number 9. Ford Fusion Hybrid. The main buying reason is that it proves Toyota is not the only company that has built a durable hybrid. A 2013 through 2020 Fusion Hybrid, especially 2016 through 2019, gives mid-size comfort, easy highway manners, and low 40s fuel economy without Camry hybrid pricing. According to Fleet and Taxi History, Ford hybrids saw hard commercial use in sedans and early escape hybrids, and that matters because taxi miles expose weakness fast. Here is why it matters. A hybrid that survives city work, heat, braking, idling, and constant stop and go has stronger proof than any sales brochure. For buyers, the Fusion Hybrid can mean a quiet adult sedan with lower fuel bills and a lower entry price than the Toyota badge. Current used prices usually run around $7,500 to $13,000 for clean examples, with rough fleet cars lower and low mileage cars higher. The battery fear here is usually bigger than the reality, but it still needs respect. Replacement can cost several $1,000s, while rebuilt options vary by supplier. That is why battery health should be scanned, not guessed. The reason this car can run to 250,000 miles is the system balance, not one miracle part. The 2.0 Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder is not stressed hard. The electric motor assists under load. Regenerative braking saves pads and rotors. The CVT avoids normal gear hunting wear. Fuel savings matter because a good fusion hybrid can deliver around 40 miles per gallon combined while still feeling like a normal midsize car. That saves gallons without making the driver feel punished. Inspect hybrid codes, cooling system, transmission fluid history, brake feel, wheel bearings, suspension clunks, air conditioning, heat, and interior fleet wear. Check the seat, steering wheel, pedals, and door panels because rideshare cars tell on themselves. Choose this one when you want a cheap, comfortable hybrid sedan and do not want to pay the Toyota tax. If the scan is clean and the records are steady, the Fusion is a smart, non-Toyota play. One more reason I like the Fusion is that it feels normal. Older buyers, commuters, and family drivers do not have to explain a strange cabin or a weird driving routine. Put gas in it, service it, and drive it like a regular sedan. That matters because a car that is easy to understand usually gets maintained better. I would still avoid one with auction history, mismatched panels, or a dead-looking interior, because hybrid taxis and rideshare cars can hide a hard life under clean photos. Number 8 gets stranger because it is a plug-in that sounded too complicated, then started piling on serious miles while many gas cars were wearing out. Number 8, Chevrolet Volt. The main buying reason is fuel savings that can go beyond a normal hybrid, but only for the right owner. A 2016 through 2019 Volt is the cleaner second-generation pick, while 2012 through 2015 cars can be cheaper if the condition is strong. According to General Motors' original design approach and owner-reported high-mile examples, the Volt battery was conservatively managed, using only part of its capacity to protect long-term life. Here is why it matters. Battery life depends on heat, charge management, and how hard the pack is used, not just age. For buyers, the Volt can mean almost no gasoline during short weekly trips, then normal gasoline freedom on long drives. Used prices often run around $7,000 to $14,500, depending on generation, mileage, battery health, and options. The battery fear is serious because full pack replacement can be expensive and some dealer quotes are ugly. But the real-world surprise is that many Volts show less degradation than nervous buyers expected, especially when charged consistently and not cooked in extreme heat. The reason it can reach 250,000 miles is different from the others, and that is why I would not shop it like a normal used sedan. The gas engine may run far fewer hours than a normal car engine. The electric drive is smooth. Regenerative braking saves brake wear. The battery management system is cautious. Fuel savings can be huge if your daily route is 15, 20, or 30 miles, and you can charge at home. That is where the Volt makes gas stations feel optional during the week, and that is exactly why it still has a loyal used following. Inspect full charge electric range, onboard charger function, coolant loops, service high voltage messages, BECM history on later cars, 12-volt battery, tire wear, brake feel, and accident history. A sitting plug-in can create its own problems, so ask how it was used. Choose this one when you can charge at home and want a cheap plug-in that still works like a gas car on trips. Skip it if you cannot charge, hate diagnostics, or need simple Toyota-style repair support. The other buyer impact is timing. A Volt makes the most sense when your routine matches the car. If you drive short trips all week, charge nightly, and take occasional long drives, it can save serious fuel. If you live in an apartment with no charging, it becomes harder to justify. Also, make sure your local shop understands Volts before buying. A cheap plug-in is not cheap if nobody nearby wants to diagnose it. That is why charging history matters. A Volt that lived, plugged in, cooled properly, and serviced on time is a very different buy from one sitting dead behind a dealer. The Volt is the surprise plug-in, but number 7 hides Prius hardware behind a Lexus badge, and depreciation makes the trick even better. Number 7. Lexus CT 200H. The main buying reason is Prius fuel economy, with a nicer cabin after depreciation did the damage. A 2011 through 2017 CT 200H is basically a small Lexus hatchback built around Toyota hybrid thinking. According to Toyota's hybrid service knowledge and parts availability, this car shares much of its long-term repair logic with the Prius family, which gives buyers more shop familiarity than many oddball hybrids. Here is why it matters. A hybrid is less scary when independent shops know the system, battery options exist, and the engine family is familiar. For buyers, the CT can deliver low 40s miles per gallon while feeling nicer than a taxi. Used prices often run around $9,000 to $16,000, with clean, low-mile examples higher, because small Lexus models have a following. The battery fear is manageable, not imaginary. Rebuilt packs may run around $2,000 or more, and new packs cost more, depending on the source and labor. That means you still scan the battery before buying. The reason it can reach 250,000 miles is low stress, parts familiarity, and the fact that most owners are not beating on it for speed. The 1.8 Toyota hybrid system does not work hard. The eCVT is simple by hybrid standards. Braking wear is low, and Prius overlap keeps parts knowledge strong. The warning is that this is not a sporty Lexus. Even if the badge makes some sellers act like it is special, it is slow, low, and tight in the rear seat. If you expect luxury performance, you will be disappointed. If you want comfortable commuting with fuel savings, it makes sense. Inspect hybrid battery health, battery cooling fan cleanliness, oil consumption, EGR clogging signs, brake actuator noise, coolant loss, rough cold starts, head gasket symptoms on high-mile cars, suspension wear, and low-profile tire damage. Test every Lexus feature because fancy switches still cost money. Choose this one when you want Prius economy, but refuse to drive something that looks like every rideshare taxi. It works best for 1 or 2 people, not a family that needs space. The buyer impact is comfort without a luxury bill. You get a better cabin, better materials, and Lexus dealer history in some cases, but you still need to remember it is a small hybrid, not an RX. The smart way to buy one is to ignore the badge first and inspect it like a Prius with nicer seats. If the engine rattles cold, the coolant drops, or the battery scan looks weak, the Lexus badge does not save you. The CT is the Lexus loophole, but number 6 is an old hybrid SUV that taxi fleets proved the hard way, long before collectors cared. Number 6, Ford Escape Hybrid. The main buying reason is proven city abuse, because taxi fleets gave this SUV the kind of test normal owners never could. A 2005 through 2012 Escape Hybrid is old now, so I am not telling you to buy one blindly. I am saying good ones earned respect. According to reports on high-mile Escape Hybrid taxi use, some examples cross 300,000 miles in brutal city service, and that matters more than any showroom claim. Here is why it matters. Stop-and-go driving exposes brakes, batteries, cooling systems, transmissions, and electronics quickly. If a hybrid system survives taxi work, the design deserves attention. For buyers, the Escape Hybrid offers a cheap SUV shape, easy entry, useful cargo room, and better city fuel economy than many regular small SUVs from the same era. Used prices often run around $4,000 to $10,000, depending on rust, mileage, battery condition, and front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The battery fear is fair because age matters as much as mileage, especially on early hybrids that have lived through heat, salt, and short-trip use. Replacement can run several $1,000s, depending on the source and installation. But the reason these can reach 250,000 miles is the whole system. The 2.3 and later 2.5 four-cylinder engines are not highly stressed. The hybrid transaxle is durable. Regenerative braking saves pads. Electric assist helps in low-speed work. Fuel economy around the low 30s miles per gallon combined was strong for an SUV of its time, especially in city use. Inspect hybrid battery codes, brake system warnings. Rust on rear wheel arches, subframes, brake lines, rear hatch rust, cooling system, air conditioning, hot transmission behavior, suspension noise, wheel bearings, exhaust leaks, and all-wheel drive operation if equipped. If the dash lights up like a Christmas tree, do not accept just a sensor. Choose this one when you want a cheap hybrid SUV and accept that age matters as much as mileage. A clean, maintained Escape Hybrid can still make sense. A rusty warning light special is a project. The buyer impact is very specific. This is not the hybrid SUV for someone who wants the newest safety tech, a luxury cabin, or easy dealer parts for every hybrid component. It is for someone who understands old car age and wants cheap utility with proof behind it. I would also look closely at brake feel because hybrid brake systems can be expensive when neglected. If it stops smoothly, drives straight, cools properly, and has records, It deserves respect. Number 5 gets smaller, cheaper to feed, and almost silly in city fuel savings, especially for drivers who spend every week in town. Number 5, Toyota Prius C. The main buying reason is low running cost, because this little hybrid makes every gallon feel like it works overtime. A 2012 through 2019 Prius C is the cheapest Toyota hybrid experience for buyers who do not need a big back seat, quiet highway ride, or luxury comfort. According to EPA fuel economy ratings, many Prius C models were rated around 50 miles per gallon combined, depending on year and trim. Here is why it matters. Over 250,000 miles, fuel economy is not a small detail. It can mean thousands of dollars that stay in your pocket. For buyers, the Prius C offers Toyota hybrid trust in a small, easy-to-park package. Used prices usually run around $6,000 to $13,000, with later clean cars higher and rough early cars lower. The battery fear is easier to manage because the pack is smaller than larger hybrids, but it is still real. Replacement options can often cost around $2,000 to $3,000, depending on new, rebuilt, or used choices. The reason it can reach 250,000 miles is simple, and simple is exactly what you want in a cheap hybrid. The 1.5 Toyota hybrid system is low stress, the car is light, the engine is small, regenerative braking saves pads, and parts are familiar enough for independent hybrid shops. This is not a highway lounge, and it should not be priced like a bigger, quieter Toyota hybrid. Wind noise, road noise, and small car feel are part of the deal. But in city driving, it shines. Inspect hybrid battery health, cooling fan cleanliness, 12-volt battery, brake actuator behavior, front suspension noise, oil leaks, accident history, tire condition, and interior wear. Small cars often get bumped, curbed, and repaired cheaply, so body history matters. Choose this one when you want the cheapest Toyota hybrid ownership and do not need room, power, or quiet highway comfort. It is great for commuters, retirees doing errands, and city drivers who want low bills. The warning is fit. If you spend hours at 70 miles per hour or carry adults in the back, buy something larger. The Prius C is not impressive at a stoplight. It is impressive at the gas pump. The buyer impact is the monthly cost. Small tires, lightweight, low fuel use, and simple Toyota hybrid parts can keep ownership calm. But I would not buy one just because it has a Toyota badge. Many Prius C cars lived city lives full of potholes, curb strikes, tight parking, and short trips. A good one should feel tight, straight, and clean, not loose and beaten. If the steering wheel is off-center or the tires are mismatched, the little savings may already be leaking away. Number 4 adds comfort. Lexus quiet and SUV height, but the battery bill gets larger too, so inspection becomes more important. Number 4, Lexus RX 450h. The main buying reason is hybrid savings without giving up comfort, and that is rare. A 2010 through 2015 RX 450h is the main target, while the older RX 400h can be cheaper if you accept more age. According to iSeeCar's longevity data, the Lexus RX Hybrid has strong odds among SUVs for reaching 250,000 miles, which supports what careful owners already see. Here is why it matters. A luxury hybrid SUV is only a bargain if it can live long enough to justify the repair risk. For buyers, the RX Hybrid gives a quiet cabin, high seating position, smooth V6 power, all-weather confidence, and better fuel economy than many regular V6 luxury SUVs. Used prices often sit around $10,000 to $18,000 for older examples, with cleaner cars higher. The battery fear is real because this is not a small Prius pack. Replacement can cost several $1,000s, and dealer pricing can be ugly. Aftermarket or rebuild options can reduce the hit, but you still scan before buying. The reason it can pass 250,000 miles is Toyota Lexus hybrid engineering, plus a drivetrain that was never tuned to feel nervous or fragile. The V6 is strong, electric motors reduce low-speed stress, regenerative braking helps brake life, and the drivetrain was built to move a heavier vehicle without feeling strained. Fuel savings are not Prius level, and any seller promising that is selling fantasy, not a used Lexus. That is not the mission. The mission is to lower fuel cost compared with a regular luxury SUV while keeping comfort. Inspect hybrid battery health, inverter cooling, water pump leaks, timing cover seepage, rear electric motor function on all-wheel drive models, suspension wear, power liftgate tire matching, heated seats, navigation, audio, climate, mirrors, and window operation. Luxury features must work because luxury repairs cost. Choose this one when you want hybrid savings, Lexus Quiet, an easy SUV entry without buying new. Skip rough ones because cheap luxury can get expensive quickly. The buyer impact is fatigue reduction. This is the hybrid for someone who wants to save some fuel, but also wants a soft seat, quiet glass, and a cabin that does not feel cheap. That comfort can be worth money on long drives, but the inspection has to match the price. A premium SUV with cheap tires, warning lights, and dead accessories is not a bargain. It is a luxury repair list waiting for the next owner. The RX Hybrid is the comfort play, but number 3 is the normal sedan that makes hybrid ownership feel completely ordinary, and that is its strength. Number 3, the Toyota Camry Hybrid. The main buying reason is that it saves fuel without making the owner explain anything. A 2012 through 2017 Camry Hybrid, especially 2015 through 2017, is the normal car hybrid choice. According to EPA ratings, these Camry hybrids can deliver around 40 miles per gallon combined, depending on year and trim. And according to iSeeCar's owner retention research, Toyota hybrids often rank well among long-term original owners. Here is why it matters. The best used hybrid for some buyers is not the one that looks special. It is the one that disappears into daily life and lowers fuel costs quietly. For buyers, the Camry Hybrid offers comfort, normal sedan manners, strong parts support, and much better fuel economy than many old V6 sedans. Used prices often run around $9,000 to $15,000 for clean examples, depending on year, trim, mileage, and region. The battery fear is lower here because Toyota hybrid batteries have one of the strongest used market reputations, and independent shops see these systems constantly. Replacement can still cost real money, often around $2,000 to $5,000, depending on new, rebuilt, or used pack options and labor. The reason it can reach 250,000 miles is balance, which is exactly what made so many Toyota hybrids boring in the best way. The 2.5 Atkinson cycle engine is understressed. The eCVT avoids normal shift wear. Toyota's cooling and battery management are proven, and the Camry body handles daily abuse well. Over 250,000 miles, 40 miles per gallon, can mean huge savings compared with regular 4-cylinder or V6 sedans. Inspect hybrid battery health, cooling fan cleanliness, water pump seepage, brake actuator noise, suspension wear, rideshare history, transmission fluid service, brake feel, and smooth transition between electric and gas power. Look at the driver's seat, pedals, and steering wheel, because high-mile commuter cars tell stories. Choose this one when you want the safest, normal hybrid sedan and do not need hatchback space. It works for buyers who want savings without attention. The warning is not to pay top money for a rough taxi life car. The buyer impact is boring confidence. You can park it at work, lend it to a family member, or drive it across the state without feeling like you bought something strange. That is why these hold value. They are not cheap because everyone knows the Toyota story, but they can still be cheaper than buying new. If the brakes feel odd, the battery fan is packed with dirt, or the seller has no maintenance proof, negotiate hard or move on. This matters for older buyers too, because a comfortable sedan that saves fuel can replace a new crossover payment if you do not need height. The Camry Hybrid is quite a value, but number 2 gives that hybrid math to a family SUV that can haul people, save fuel, and last. Number 2, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid. The main buying reason is 3-row usefulness with long life hybrid proof. A 2008 through 2013 Highlander Hybrid is the cheaper buy, while 2014 through 2016 examples bring more comfort and safety tech. According to iSeeCar's longest-lasting vehicle study, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid ranks near the top with a strong predicted chance of reaching 250,000 miles. Here is why it matters. This is not just a fuel saver story. This is a family SUV that can run long enough to make the hybrid cost make sense. For buyers, the Highlander Hybrid gives room, comfort, Toyota's long life engineering, and better fuel economy than many gas-only 3-row SUVs. Used prices vary widely, from around $8,000 for older high-mile examples to more than $23,000 for cleaner newer ones. The battery fear is real because the pack is larger than a Prius pack, and replacement can cost several $1,000s. That does not make it a bad buy. It means you scan it, price the risk, and buy the cleanest example you can afford. The reason it reaches 250,000 miles is the full system, and that is why mileage alone does not scare me when records are strong. The V6 hybrid setup is strong. Electric motors reduce low-speed stress. Regenerative braking reduces brake wear, and the platform itself is durable. The fuel savings are not Prius style because this is a heavier SUV with more seats, more weight, and more tires under it. But compared with a regular 3-row V6 SUV, the long-term savings can be meaningful, especially for families hauling kids, grandkids, luggage, groceries, dogs, or road trip gear. Inspect hybrid battery health, inverter cooling, rear electric motor function, water pump leaks, timing belt service on older V6 models, where applicable, all-wheel drive service, brake actuator behavior, rust, rear air, power hatch, seat folding, and third-row wear. Choose this one when you need an SUV, want Toyota longevity, and do not want to feed a regular V6 family hauler forever. I would also check the rear cargo area for water leaks and family wear, because 3-row SUVs live hard lives. A strong hybrid system does not fix broken trim, dead rear air, or a neglected interior. The warning is costly. It is not the cheapest hybrid, but it may be one of the smartest if you need space. The buyer impact is family cost control. A Highlander Hybrid can replace a regular 3-row SUV without giving up the daily usefulness that families need. That does not mean it is cheap to repair. It means the savings make sense when you actually use the space. If you only drive alone, buy a Prius or Camry Hybrid instead. If you need seats, cargo, and winter confidence, this is where the math gets interesting. Number 1 is the car that made the whole hybrid argument impossible to ignore, because the proof is everywhere if you look. Number 1, Toyota Prius. The main buying reason is proof, because no cheap hybrid has built a deeper high-mile record. A 2004 through 2009 second-generation Prius is the bargain target. 2010 through 2015 is the value target with more inspection needs, and 2016 through 2020 is the higher budget choice. According to iSeeCar's hybrid longevity coverage and years of taxi and delivery use, the Prius remains one of the strongest symbols of high-mile hybrid trust. Here is why it matters. The Prius did not beat battery fear with advertising. It beat it with odometers. For buyers, that means repair knowledge, battery options, part supply, scan tools, and owner experience are everywhere. Used prices vary heavily. Older high-mile cars can start around $4,000 to $7,000. Cleaner third-generation cars often sit around $8,000 to $14,000. Fourth-generation cars often run $12,000 to $16,000 or more. The battery fear is real, but the Prius handles it better than almost anything because support is so deep, prices are easier to compare, and repair paths are known. Rebuilt packs can be relatively affordable compared with larger hybrids. New packs cost more, and independent shops know the platform. The reason it reaches 250,000 miles is Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive, the system that turned hybrid doubt into taxi line proof. The engine shuts off at stops. The electric motor assists under load. The eCVT avoids normal automatic shifting. Regenerative braking saves brakes, and the gas engine works under less stress than people expect. A healthy Prius can run in the mid-40s to low 50s miles per gallon, depending on year, tires, temperature, and driving. Over 250,000 miles, which can save thousands compared with regular sedans and small SUVs. Inspect hybrid battery health, cooling fan cleanliness, 12-volt battery, brake actuator noise, inverter pump on older cars, oil consumption on some third-generation cars, EGR clogging, head gasket signs, coolant loss, catalytic converter theft history, wheel bearings, hatch leaks, and suspension wear. Choose this one when you want the most proven cheap hybrid and care more about total cost than image. The warning is to avoid the cheapest mystery Prius. Buy the cleanest one you can afford, then protect it. Keep the cooling fan clean, use good oil, fix small warnings early, and do not ignore coolant loss. The Prius wins because it has the deepest proof, clearest fuel savings case, and strongest repair knowledge base. The buyer impact is simple. The Prius gives you options. Need a battery? There are shops. Need used parts? They are everywhere. Need advice? Owners have documented almost every common problem. That support network is part of reliability. A rare hybrid may be fine until it fails, then the owner is trapped. A Prius can be repaired, priced, and understood. That is why high-mile owners keep fixing them. The inspection also needs a real drive, not a lap around the block. Let it warm up, watch the energy screen, feel the brake transition, and listen when the engine restarts. A good Prius should feel smooth and boring, not harsh, confused, or desperate. If the seller rushes the test, that is your answer. It made the doubters look wrong one boring mile at a time. If you have owned a high-mile hybrid, drop the mileage below. Real owner proof is what cuts through old battery fear. Buyer cheat sheet. The Civic Hybrid is the cheapest entry, but only with a battery test and clean CVT behavior. The Fusion Hybrid is the comfortable non-Toyota value, best when the scan and records are clean. The Volt is the plug-in bargain, best when you can charge at home and verify the high-voltage system. The Lexus CT is the Prius in a Lexus loophole, best for commuters who do not need space. The Escape Hybrid is the old SUV taxi-proven pick, best only when rust and warning lights are under control. The Prius C is the city fuel saver, best when low bills matter more than quiet highway comfort. The Lexus RX Hybrid is the comfort hybrid SUV, best when you accept higher repair costs for quiet luxury. The Camry Hybrid is the normal sedan choice, best when you want savings without attention. The Highlander Hybrid is the family SUV answer, best when space matters. The Prius is the smartest overall proof car. Before buying any hybrid, scan the battery, check cooling fans, test the 12-volt battery, drive it warm, inspect tires, brakes, warning lights, service records, and accident history. For every model, compare the repair risk against the fuel savings. A hybrid that saves gas but needs hidden repairs is not winning. A cheap hybrid without proof is not a bargain. It is a guess, and guesses get expensive when the dashboard lights come on. That final scan is cheap insurance before a very expensive surprise arrives later anyway. Click the next video. These hybrids prove the battery scare was not the whole story. Subscribe, save fuel, and buy the right car before fear wins.